reverse dieting can absolutely 100% destroy all the hard work you've put in when it comes to fat loss. Um, I know I talk a lot about losing weight, keeping it off, and how fitness can completely transform your body. One of the big things that we need to be aware of when it comes to losing weight is that losing weight actually requires your metabolism to slow down. The body is going to adapt to weight loss as you start to lose weight, uh, especially those of you who lose a lot of weight. Your metabolism is going to slow down to account for lower calories. It's a survival mechanism to ensure that you don't just completely eliminate all the adipose tissue, the fat that you carry on your body that is really an emergency fund during times of starvation. Your body needs to have fuel on hand. So it slows down the metabolism to be able to continue to do all the things the body needs to do on less calories, less fuel. That's just naturally what happens when you lose weight. So people think losing weight speeds up your metabolism. It's actually the opposite. But what we can do to ensure that you don't gain all the weight back is have a plan in place for when you lose the weight. This is like phase 2 or even phase 3 of clients who work with me. The first phase is we get them as lean as they would like to be, as lean as they can be, that is healthy, that is sustainable. And then we work on maintaining that for an extended period of time. And that oftentimes comes with a reverse diet. And then we actually really focus on reverse dieting for a longer period of time, where we systematically add calories back in, probably eliminate some of the excess cardio we were doing just to lose weight, just to burn more calories, settle into a nice lifestyle routine that can be maintained in terms of how many steps they take most days, what their training looks like, what their calories look like. And we do this for a long enough period of time to get their metabolism back to a healthy state without gaining a ton of weight. Sure, there is some weight gain that happens when you reverse diet. You're going to gain some water weight, probably a little bit of body fat, not a lot, but maybe even for an extended period of time, you might lose weight still because you're still in a calorie deficit when you first start adding calories back in. But one of the biggest mistakes I made when I first lost a lot of weight was I didn't reverse diet. I literally went from losing fat consistently, dropping a lot of weight, eating relatively low calories, and I went overnight back to a high calorie amount because I had no idea what reverse dieting was. I thought as soon as I lose the weight, I'll just start adding calories back in, go back to what I was doing before. This was a huge mistake. I regained a lot of body fat because I didn't take the time to reverse diet. Can't stress how important this is for those of you who are getting to a point where you're pretty satisfied with how lean you are. You've lost a lot of body fat. Take the time to maintain. Take the time to regain appropriately. Re-add calories back in systematically, step by step. Don't go from eating 2,000 calories a day to 3,500 calories a day. You're going to gain fat rapidly because your body's metabolism has slowed down. So now it's going to start adding fat back in very quickly if you don't take the time to reverse diet. So if you're watching this live, be sure to write live in the comments. Or if you're watching on replay, drop a replay in the comments. Let me know you're out there. Let me know if you've experienced this before. This is that yo-yo dieting almost that we talk about, where you lose a bunch of weight, gain it back, lose a bunch of weight, gain it back. You kind of go back and forth, and it becomes frustrating because you're like, I don't want to have to do this again. So one of the best kept secrets is reverse dieting. That's where we just take our time, we add calories back in, and it's going to be mentally a little bit tough because you feel like you've reached a new level and you're like, okay, now I want to eat what I did before, but be lean now, right? It just doesn't work that way. You got to adapt to the circumstances, and you got to say, okay, my metabolism has slowed down. I'm only losing, a small amount of weight on relatively lower calories. I got to start adding calories back in. And I suggest, there are some people out there that say, oh, just get it back up to maintenance as fast as you can, and then start to reverse diet. I would say, it's probably not a terrible idea to add back in a larger amount of calories up front. So where maybe 300 to 400 extra calories a day. And then after you start to see the body start to stabilize a bit, then slowly add more back in. To give you an idea, when I lost a bunch of weight, I was maintaining my weight on like 2,000 calories a day. So as you can imagine, the first go around where I lost a bunch of weight and going back up to eating like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, I gained a lot of weight back quick. When I did it again, I lost a bunch of weight and I got really ripped. I slowly added things back in. So I went from maintaining my weight on 2,000 calories a day to about 3,200. And so now I can probably maintain weight eating about 3,200 calories a day, which is a pretty large amount. It's not terrible. Like, I never feel hungry, to be honest, just to maintain my weight. I know if I eat 3,500 to 4,000 a day, I'm probably going to start gaining weight, but that's a lot of food. If you're eating healthy whole foods most of the time, that's a ton of food. To lose fat, I'm right around 2,500 calories a day, which gives me a pretty large deficit, 700 calories or so to burn fat. But I wasn't able to do that until I started to reverse diet appropriately. So if this is helpful, if this gives you some insight into how to transition from a fat loss diet back to eating quote unquote normal, this is the way to do it. And, it might require tracking food still for a bit, but just learning how to be intuitive with your intake is a skill you can pick up pretty quick just by monitoring portions, monitoring how you feel, monitoring your activity, all that good stuff. All right. So just be aware that once you start to lose fat and you get to a point where you're pretty satisfied with your body fat level and your physique, that's not where the journey ends, right? I mean, the journey technically never ends, but you need to reverse diet so that you can get your metabolism healthy enough to support a healthy amount of food so you don't start gaining weight every time you eat over, a couple thousand calories, all right? So just wanted to drop that for you. If you got any questions, I'll hang out for a bit. If anybody's got any questions for me, I'm happy to answer questions. Just drop them in the comments, and I'll make sure to answer your questions right now. What you got? Let's see. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll answer them now. See if I'm missing any. If I'm not, it's all good. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything from you guys. Cool. You can always drop a comment if you're watching on the replay. You come back, watch the video, have a question, just leave it in the comments. I'll come back and check it out. But yeah, hopefully this helped today. Appreciate you watching. You can go to lookgoodnaked.co to get a free guide, or you can check out our programs at the link on the screen, thetruetransformation.com/transform. All right. Talk to you all soon.